Hello, I'm Queen of Vikings, and today I'm doing my paranormal Q&A. And what better than to talk spooky stuff than to have a spooky dress? Yes, this is a dress. Look how cute this is. For those who don't know, I am a spooky bitch. I talk about it quite a bit on stream. I'm very open about it, and I know that you guys have a lot of questions, so I'm gonna try to get through most of them. But this, I tend to ramble. So I'm gonna try not to make this a 45-minute video and probably split it into a couple of parts. Have you ever seen spirits or ghosts? Yes. Are you, parentheses, planning on ever going ghost hunting with Chris and Selena and or Sam and Colby? Considering that neither of those people know who I am, there's no plans to. But if ever I was approached by any of them, it would 100% be yes. Have you ever wanted to buy something but discovered that it's got bad juju connected to it? No, actually, because usually if I can sense a bad juju, I'm like, never mind. How can you tell if things are haunted? Like, do you just feel it is? Yeah, that's hard to explain. So, it's like a feeling. It's like a weight. An extra weight. Okay, say my water bottle, right? I'm touching it, it feels like a water bottle. But when something like the antique shop, right? I did an entire Instagram story about like, let's see what's haunted, not haunted in the antique shop. And it was just vibes I was getting. Like I walked past like the first doll and like my stomach started hurting and I picked up the doll and it just felt heavier. I genuinely wish I could explain it better than I am doing right now, but it feels heavier. It's a heavier feeling. It's not necessarily a bad one either. It's just heavy. Energetically. I'm bad at this. Okay. Most crazy paranormal moment you've had that you can't explain. That I can't, that I can't explain any of them. I was at my old apartment when I was younger with my mom, and I was living with her still. I was in high school, and it's very common, the women in my family on that side, to be much more sensitive to this kind of thing. So I'd known since I was younger, but I'll get into that later. And I was sitting at home after school had finished. So it was like 3, 4-ish. Time doesn't matter, but just in case. And I'm watching TV. And so the way it was done was the living room was here. Hallway, bedroom. Hallway, bedroom. Hallway, bathroom, kitchen. So it was one long hallway to the kitchen and then all the rooms inside. And I'm watching TV. And I go like this because I kind of like feel like I'm being watched. And there's a dude. There's a shadow figure in the hallway. And again, to most people that, like some of you are like, what? That's so fucking scary. But that's been kind of my life. So I was just kind of like, okay. And I looked away. And I kind of felt uneasy, which didn't usually happen. I looked again and the shadow figure was closer. And immediately I walked over to where the fireplace was in the corner of the room, turned on a light, and went to sit back down. Started asking questions. Are you here to hurt me? Flash the light. This was not a light that had electrical shortage. We've never had a flicker, anything, nothing, alright? So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to watch The Bold and the Beautiful. Okay, I'm watching my soap opera. And I've got fucking Shadow Man just chilling in there, trying to get closer to me. Light flickers. I was like, okay. Are you gonna be a problem? Light flickers. Because I'm young, I didn't realize that I should have probably mentioned what was yes or no. So I was just like, okay, can you leave me alone? And the light flickered. And I was like, great. Okay. And then that was it. And then the light didn't touch. I still felt uneasy. But what the fuck was I supposed to do? I was very young doing all of that stuff. So probably that one. Just being watched by this weird shadow man in my old apartment. What paranormal encounter has had the most effect on you and still stays with you? Oh, dear. I'll say her. I have a haunted doll up there. I went to this antique shop, which is the same one I went to a couple of weeks ago. Well, to me, it's yesterday, but for you guys, it'll probably be a couple of weeks ago by the time this comes out, maybe months, who knows. I'd walked in there, and for some reason, I just instinctively wanted a doll. I was like, I don't own dolls. I don't own Barbies, but I wanted a doll. I've shown you on stream, so I'm assuming that this is gonna be okay. We call her Miss A. I will only show if y'all are absolutely respectful to her, because she's sensitive. So this is Miss A. It's very normal for entities not to want to give you their name because names hold a lot of power in that world. So it's just the initial is A. And that's all I know about Miss Ma'am. And I found her and immediately felt sad. After some kind of talking to her, found out this. I sound fucking insane, but after some talking to her, I found out she is a little girl who really did not get loved, like, at all. This doll was the love that she got. And so often with this doll, what she will ask me to do is hold her like this. And she just wants to be held and touched and played with and loved. It hurt so bad because I could feel, still to this day can feel, but that original meeting, I just felt so depressed and so sad. It's not your fault, don't worry. And she's here now. She's gonna be loved, and she knows that she has someone that really cares about her. Your dress is stuck in my ring, sweetie. One moment. I don't want to rip it. No, I'm not trying not to rip it. Okay. Yes, she does talk. Maybe there's a question that will explain that a little later, but that's probably her. It definitely marked me because she was just so sad. It was sad. It was sad. That's it. I don't know what else to add there. Would a spirit or entity be able to use past traumas against me? Yeah? Maybe not in the way you think. There are these entities, people can call them mimics, tricksters, whatever may you be. But, they are entities that imitate other people. Loved ones. Pets, even. They mimic, they imitate. And, what can happen is that they imitate a loved one. They imitate their signs. And it could be even someone that passed in a traumatic way and then start showing you them to torment. This can happen. So, like, yes, but maybe not with the traumas you were thinking of, but yeah. In that way, I would say that yes, they can kind of use it against you. The spirit world is touchy, man. When did you first realize you could sense other presence around you? I was like 5 or 6. I say 5 or 6 because that's like where my memory kind of starts. I might have been younger. I was sleeping in my bed, and I remember waking up, and there was a woman at the edge of my bed. Just like, keep in mind I'm a kid, right? And she was just at the edge of my bed. So I screamed. I screamed really loud. I screamed. My mom heard me. She ran in the room, was like, what? And I was like, there's a woman. There's a lady in my bed. There's a woman. Like, babbling like crazy. Again, the mom side of the family, very used to this. So she was kind of like, there's a woman in your bed. So she checked, the closet, under the thing, under the bed. Checked everywhere. Nothing. She starts pouring holy water around my bed. Put it on me. She did a little cross on my forehead here because this is where your third eye is. So you want to protect this area from seeing. She sat me down, calmed me down. And I remember her telling me, if you see her again, think about how you feel when she's there. I was like, what do you mean if she comes back? Like, I was scared. Time passes. I don't know how exactly much time. See the lady again. I wake up in front of me. But when I actually sat and looked at her, I wasn't scared. I was scared because it was the first time I see someone who's not my mom in my fucking room. But she felt curious and kind of safe. I told my mom that. And that's when she kind of started walking me through it slowly. Where she was like, okay, well, it sounds like someone is just protecting you. That's all. And she's just showing herself in the shape of a woman. And I was like, okay. And that's kind of where that started. So, very young. I've been able to do this for as long as I can remember. What beings have you encountered in the past? And do you have Viking blood in you? Okay, well, one of those is about this topic. I don't know what you mean by beings. Like, the most common thing I've seen are, like, shadow people, because that's usually the first thing everybody sees. I've seen creatures. I can't tell you what they are. They were, like, weird looking. Not weird looking. I don't want to insult them. But, like, I don't know how to properly answer that, because I don't know what beings you mean. I've seen spirits. I've seen creatures for sure. There's other things I've seen that I don't feel like not that I'm not ready to tell you guys about, but I feel like that has to be an entire other episode. A lot. And, I'm Scandinavian. Yeah. I don't know if anybody was a Viking, but I'm Scandinavian. I once ran my hand across a shelf of haunted books and it felt like I was stabbed. Does that mean something? Might have been like a dust mite or like a splinter. I always say mundane before magical. So think about a mundane reason why that might happen. If you can't, boop, magical, What's the mundane reason for me having a fucking woman at the edge of my bed? Seeing her twice. More than, actually, I saw her multiple times throughout my entire childhood. But, like, it's like, there's not really, I wouldn't think too much of that. Have you had this ability your whole life? Yes. Have you ever seen a ghost, and if so, how many in total? I can't give you a number. It's well over in the 500s. I've had 26 years of seeing shit. I can't tell you a number. That was the first one. But yeah, I can't tell you. I see them all the time. I can't. I can, like, diminish it at times, and then I can kind of, like, let it just flow. Whatever happens, happens. Most of the time I live in the diluted state, we'll call it, of that, because, or else it's too much, and I get tired, and it's a lot. What was the scariest paranormal thing that's ever happened to you? I got it. In my practice, because I practice paganism, I worship and have working relationships with deities, which are gods. And at the time I was worshiping Hades. And I wanted to try to talk to him. So little me, very, very spiritual, very open, very not smart in protecting myself, use a spirit board. And I do still use a spirit board to this day. I just know how to fucking keep myself safe from it. And so I put the spirit board, had my little pendulum, and I'm like, hi, Hades, can I, like, talk to you? Such a stupid mistake. And they're like, yeah, no, I'm Hades. Yeah, I'm Hades. And then I started vetting him. One thing that I always learned was vet when you're using a fucking spirit board. Confirm the identity of who you are talking to. And so I asked a couple of questions. The answers were, like, right, but vague. And it felt weird. It didn't feel like how he was. So I asked, have the pendulum. This is yes, this is no. And I'm like, are you Hades? Nope. I was like, oh, okay. Are you here to hurt me? It went fucking wild. And I dropped the pendulum and I ran to grab incense, whatever I could. I opened up the fucking windows, the whole shebang. This shit did not go away for 3 fucking days. For 3 fucking days, this entity, whatever it was, posing itself as a god, first of all, wild behavior, but did not go away. I smoked my house so intensely that, I was like, how is it not leaving? How is it not leaving? And then I started panicking, because I'm like, I'm a baby witchling. I'm doing all the stupid. I don't do what I did. It took me grabbing pots and pans. I started banging them together, and the noise itself, it's called sound cleansing. I just banged everywhere, and that's when I started feeling it starting to detach. And I was like, oh my god, it just needed a fucking sound. So I started banging in every single room. I did this every couple of hours for that entire day on the last day before I finally felt like I could breathe again, and it left. Since then, I've gotten much smarter. I have looked up so many bind runes. I have so much protection around the house now, but like it's just that was scary, because that whatever that was had fully admitted that it wanted to hurt me, and that was more terrifying than any other entity that I've seen, because you can see them and they can't do shit, but that was gonna do some shit. So that's my scariest experience. Is this even real, or is it schizophrenia leading to hallucinations? I understand. I understand this question. I am literally coming on the internet and saying, hi, I hear and see things that other people don't. That sounds like schizophrenia and hallucinations. What confirmed it to me was multiple people throughout my life, when I've been in group settings just with somebody else, we've seen the same things. That's what proved it to me. We were not high, we did not drink or anything. It was just like, hey, you see that random, like, white lady crossing, like, the street? Cool. We all see that, right? And then just... And you're like, all right. I will say it's because other people have experienced the same things that I did in the same area that it did solidify that for me. Because, or else, yeah, 100%, you know, I also would have been like, maybe I'm schizophrenic. But nope. All good. Well, not all good, but not that. So that definitely solidified for me. But this is what I try to explain to people, right? When I say that I see things, so I'm clairvoyant and clairaudient, so I can hear and see. Y'all see this pen, right? We all see this. See the pen? Hey guys, there's a pen. Guys, I see a pen. I see it. It's right here. You guys don't see the fucking pen. You don't see it. But I do. I see the pen. So that's kind of how it is to be able to see things, because it's like, no, it's very much there. I can see it. It's proof to me, because it's been my experiences, but it's very hard to explain my experiences when other people haven't. You know, and that's kind of the thing with, say, like, empathy or feelings, like any sort of situation, you try to explain your side of things. It's Some people will understand and believe it, some people won't, and that's fine. I am doing this simply to talk about it. I'm not doing this to try to convince any of you that it's real. I'm not trying to convince any of you to believe what I believe. It's just, hey, here's some experiences that I've had. If you have questions about them, I'll try to answer them the best I can, you know? It's me. It's part of me. I'm a spooky bitch. Always have been. So, there's that. Do you, and have you ever gone ghost hunting before? No. I would like to. I'm scared to. And not maybe why, not for the reason you think, not because I'm afraid of like something attaching to me or anything. It's more like careful here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to go with people who will be respectful to spirits because there is an etiquette with spirits. I want to go with people who are open-minded. I don't want to go with anybody who would be disrespectful or rude to any entities. That is the biggest thing. And unfortunately, a lot of people who want to go ghost hunting are those people. Now, there are a few good ones. Selena Spooky Boo, Chris, Sam Colby. I've watched their shit. They're good. As for other people, you can just tell, man. You can tell. Like, I don't know how to, it hurts my brain physically. It's people like the bad people that like go ghost hunting and they fake everything and they try to put everything with traps and then they use the equipment, which honestly I don't even know if it works because I've never used it, so I have nothing to compare it to. All I've ever seen is video proof, but I've never experienced it myself, so I can't talk about it. Like they try to use, and it's just like it gives people who actually I guess are passionate about it and have these abilities a bad fucking name. This went on a rant, I'm sorry, but yes, I would love to go ghost hunting. I need to find the right people to do it. Do you believe there are benevolent spirits? Yes and no. I think that when a spirit is negative, so to speak, they're either bored out of their fucking mind, someone has summoned them by accident, and now they're pissed off because you're wasting their time. There are multiple reasons why someone can be malevolent, but I definitely think there are some that want to help. There are definitely entities that want to teach, because they have all of this knowledge, no one to fucking share it to, except the occasional spooky people on the earth who can hear them. So they're like, hey, you should, go to therapy, maybe. Please talk to your mom. Please, can you break up with the asshole? Like, like, the spirit teams are at their wit's end. But, I do think there are benevolent. Yeah. But that's also a human term. It's complicated. What can I do about Mimic in my old house? I mean, if it's causing you problems, cleanse, sound cleanse. Don't use white sage. That's protected. Don't use sweetgrass either. Those are closed practices. Windows open in all of the house, because or else you're just trapping it and it has nowhere to go. What would scare you more, a skinwalker or a wendigo? Probably a skinwalker. Yeah, probably skinwalker. When you see spirits, are they just black figures or you can see them? For me, it's a figure. Depends on the fucking entity. Definitely shadows most of the time, but when one really wants to get its point across, yeah, I see a full-fledged thing. It's a little creepier, to be honest, but it just spooky things. This happens a lot. I wake up with scratches on my body, mainly chest. What does that mean? Cut your nails. If you have pets, cut their nails. You could be scratching yourself in your sleep. If not, if you're afraid of it's something magical, you can always, sprinkle some holy water. Holy water is actually effective. It is. But just sprinkle it around. Sprinkle on your bed. Smoke cleanse. If you can't smoke cleanse, sound. Even just like clapping aggressively around the house, you look like a fool because you're doing this when you're sound cleansing. Get out of my house! Get out of my house! Like, you look fucking crazy, but it works. What is in your opinion, the scariest paranormal story place? Zach Bagans Museum. You could not pay me enough money. Maybe like $10 million I would go there. Everybody has their price. To step foot in that museum. I will not. I will not. Mark this day. The 13th of April. This video is probably going to come out in May. But it is the 13th of April, 2025. Queen of Vikings says she will never step foot in Zach Bagans Museum unless she gets $10 million. When I think of the Zach Bagans Museum, there is something in there that is like pulling me. There's part of me that wants to go because I want to see what the fuck is pulling me. But the smarter part knows not to listen to that voice. So I'm not going. I'm not going. It's not gonna happen. Do you get scared of what it can do to you? Yeah. Yeah. Mostly for my mental, though. I've never really had a physical altercation with any sort of entity. I think I've been, like, poked before. But, like, maybe once. Everything usually just keeps its fucking distance. Like, we just kind of acknowledge, I can see you, you can see me. Don't fuck anything up, please. And then we move on. And that's just what happens. But I definitely do worry about how it can affect my mental, because there was a very long period of time. This has already gone 30 minutes. I'm gonna have to make this to a second part. There was a moment of my life where I was in a very bad relationship, and I was seeing a lot of things. A lot of things. I was hearing a lot of things. He was bringing a lot of things. And it scared me so much that I couldn't sleep anymore. And I just was like, I don't want it anymore. Whatever, I don't want it. Whatever this is, take it away. I don't want it. After some time, it went away. And I got it back probably when I met King, to be honest. He kind of made me feel comfortable about, like, opening up that part of me again. So I'll probably say maybe like 2019, 2020 is when I started re-practicing and regrowing the abilities that I had. And now we're here. Have you ever dreamt of the man with the top hat? I don't know who this is. I don't know who the man with the top hat is. I'm gonna research. I genuinely don't. I've dreamt of many entities. The Hat Man is a recurring figure in urban legends because with sleep paralysis, nightmare, and the use of certain medications. It's having a menacing or intimidating presence. I mean, I've definitely seen something like that before. I'm looking at what they assume he kind of looks like with, like, pictures. I don't know if it's the Hat Man. I've seen men in hats. Even Wheezy's ghost has a top hat, but it's not like that. More of a dapper gentleman. Definitely seen that before. But I don't know if it's the one you're talking about. Alright, so thank you guys for joining me for part 1 of this paranormal Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be making part 2 probably immediately after this video ends. I'm just gonna hit start record and start over again. Thank you guys so much for making me feel like this is a really safe space to be open and talk about this kind of stuff. I really appreciate it. You know, anytime I talk about paranormal things, it's always one of two responses. It's you're crazy or wow, that's fascinating. And I'm really happy we're here with the wow, that's fascinating. I'm expecting a few of these, but it is what it is, right? It's like I explained earlier. Let me know if you guys like more of this and you want more spooky paranormal things. Let me know what you want me to do. If you want me to start ghost hunting or something. Many of you have said it in the penitentiary video, which, by the way, they never got back to me, so I don't think that's happening. I can start looking at equipment and I guess see if it's worth it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, passes, sub here, and